Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the model's verbs, will and would, their uses, differences, and similarities in detail with the help of some examples. So, let's get started. There are total five functions of these modal verbs, will and would. They both can be acted as these five functions. So, what are these five functions of modal verb will and would? Well, first is futurity, second, certainty, request and offer, habits, and conditional. So, these are the main five functions of both will and would. Let's talk about these functions one by one for both will and would. First, futurity. So, what is the futurity? For will, futurity is the over represent our futures events that happen in the future. Here we have to use the will. For example, he will pass the exam. So here we are certain we are talking about the future. He will pass the exam. Would. In futurity, would is the past form of will. For example, he would pass the exam. So here we are talking about our past. He would pass the exam, not will. Second, request or offer. Both will and would used as a request or offer. Will. In the request, will is actually used as a casual in less polite way. For example, will you give me the book? So here we used will because we are talking in a less polite manners, in a casual way. But in request, would is used as more formal and more polite way as compared to will. For example, would you give me the book, please? Here we are talking in more politely and formal way. So we used here please in this sentence. So that's the difference between will and would as a request. Third, habits. Again, we can use both will and would as habits. In will, we used will for the characteristics habits. For example, she will talk about nothing but study. So we used here will because we are talking about her habits. Talk about nothing but study. So that's her characteristic. Would is actually used for the past habits. For example, she would talk about nothing but study. So here we used would because we are talking about her past. She would. Next, conditional. Will as a conditional used for the real situations that might be happen in real that are realistic in actually. For example, if it rains tomorrow, I will bring my umbrella. So we used here will as a conditional because for sure that rain might be happen. So that's a real thing. So we used here will. Would as a conditional cannot be used for the real situations. Would is actually used for the imaginary situations that we can imagine only. For example, if I had wing, I would fly. So we used here would because it's an imaginary situation. If I had wing, so that's not possible in real. Next, certainty. Will as a certainty we have to use for the certain and sure things to whom we are sure about them. For example, that will be Harry. So here we are sure about the Harry. It's actually Harry. So we use here will. So that's a certain thing. So we are certain. Would is actually used for the less certain thing. To those things about we are much not pretty sure about them. For example, that might be Harry. So here we are not much pretty sure that might be or might not be. So we used here would instead of will. If we certain, so we use here will. So that's the difference. So this is all about today's lecture. Hope so you got it. Please like the video. That will help to push out the video toward other students. So please like and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching.